The Karaka 2021 preview show is brought to you by a stable of sponsors.
She's holding Conqueror for late in third spot, then by has to be good, but she's done it. She's done the Karaka million double. Probabeel won it.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Karaka 2021 preview show. It's a pleasure to have your company with us, and we've got two special guests with me today on the panel. Michael Guerin, a very warm welcome.
Yeah, hi Em, and a big hi to everybody watching not only in New Zealand of course, but around the world, which Emily is going to be one of the themes of this sale. So many of our buyers internationally won't be on the grounds with us, and we wish them the best of luck. But I think for that reason, and many others, this is going to be an exciting sale, and a sale where we learn some stuff about the way we're going to sell horses in the future.
Absolutely. Our other special guest on the preview show today is NZB representative Danny Rolston. And Danny, great to have your company. Things are well and truly underway here for the big sale.
Thanks, Em. It certainly comes around quickly, doesn't it, each summer, and we've been busy out on the road parading the yearlings and seeing all the local buyers and agents, and looking forward to getting the show under the road again.
It's going to be coming around pretty quickly. Let's have a little look at last year's statistics. That was for the Book 1 sale in 2020. We had an aggregate of $67,130,000. 484 horses sold. Now that was for an average of $138,698 with a clearance rate of 79%. And Danny, that's important, that clearance rate, and that's what we'll be aiming for this year too.
Yeah, of course, it's really important. When we see a good clearance rate, that means that it spreads right across all the vendors, and we did see a really strong sale last year. All our important indicators were up across the board. It was only marginally up on 2019, but they were up nonetheless, and that was really driven by a return to the spend by the Australian market, followed quickly on by increases from Hong Kong and China and the US.
Michael, it's going to be a different sale this year, isn't it? We're under these COVID-19 conditions, and it's going to be really interesting to see how people adapt to that.
Yeah, and some of the people who we're used to seeing on the grounds, not just the owners from overseas, but the agents aren't going to be here either. But most of them have their systems in place to buy online. The online platform we'll discuss shortly is outstanding. Now, it was given a very robust workout during the Ready to Run sales here, and the reports were incredibly positive. So I think the world's moving in a direction where if this was the first sale on earth under these circumstances, it'd be far trickier for people. I think it's really important where the agents sit, where the vendors sit with the technology and all the information they're able to provide. I don't know exactly how it's all going to pan out, but as I said, that's one of the fascinating things about Karaka 2021. I think we're all going to be learning together.
And Danny, you've been out and about, you've been meeting the vendors. What's the general opinion from them?
Look, everybody's realistic and understanding that the circumstances are quite a bit different this year. We've had the luxury of the Ready to Run sale under our belt, so that we've tested our technology, and no, everybody's optimistic and really positive going into the sale.
Well, let's find out from the vendors themselves what their COVID response has been.
Well, I think we're all just trying our best, and who knows what lies ahead. But look, I'm a great believer that all of us that are in this industry right at the present time, we're in it for a reason. It's our life, it's our passion, it's what we do. So everybody included, whether you're a buyer, whether you're a seller, whatever you are in between, everybody's trying their best.
Well, we've got a lot more videos and photos of the horses this year, obviously to try and reach our Australian audience and Hong Kong audience as well. I guess we've been on the phone a lot more than what we would normally, trying to inform buyers of the quality we've got this year.
There's a lot of emphasis on the videos and doing a lot more of that kind of footage. We're quite fortunate. We've had our horse passport system the last couple of years, which has a lot of vet reports and outside information, which I think lends itself to the current environment. But we're trying to go extra with the level of footage and the quality of the footage. So I think that's going to be very important for the buyers that can't be here.
Everyone's had their buy-in from a staff point of view first. I've got broodmare staff working on yearlings, which they generally haven't done in years gone by because we haven't been able to get some of the young people from the Northern Hemisphere. So that's from a prep point of view.
Probably we've diverted quite a bit of our spend this year that we would have put into on sales promotion, like marquees and food and everything that we do at Karaka. We will still do that, but a lot of that money we've diverted to videos and different ideas as far as information that we can provide to prospective buyers.
Oh look, it's been a challenge, hasn't it? I think one of the biggest things is the transparency of your product. Little Lavender, we haven't been here for 80 years for no reason at all. We've been up front. You back your stock, don't you? So I think if you can supply as much information to these guys as you can, that's really going to set you in stead.
From a promotional part of view, a lot more time on our videos. We're using 2 veterinarians to give x-ray reports on scopes and the x-rays. We'll do a health report as well, trying to give as much information to the buyers as possible because we know a number of them aren't going to be here, and then hopefully that drags them into then talk more about the horse.
Yeah, like everybody, it's a little bit of an unknown really, but obviously the information we're going to provide, the videos, the photos, etc. Is going to be a step up on what everybody's done previously, and I know all the vendors and staff have put a lot of effort into it, and it is very time consuming. Communications, we'll be looking to target people that have perhaps brought horses off us before that have succeeded, or people with relatives of horses we're selling and horses by our stallions. Just trying to really generate the interest and hope that obviously the New Zealand Bloodstock new online bidding platform will be a big advantage.
But yeah, look, photos, videos, we'll be there, but we'll be on the end of the phone, and we'll be there to try and help as many people to see what the horse is in imagination as well, what they can't see on the film.
For those people that are unable to be present at Karaka this year that we've done business with in the past, all New Zealanders, there's videos of every horse, there's all sorts of information on every horse. Basically, usually we say what you see is what you get. Well, this year what you read or what you see on your computer is what you'll get. And from everybody in New Zealand, we've got great relationships with these people, so it's only a matter of we're a phone call away and you'll get an honest answer.
Well, that's the vendors' response to COVID-19. Danny, of course, NZB have had to adapt too. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have done.
Well, we went into lockdown right leading into two of our sales. We had the South Island sale and the May Yearling sale coming up, so we had to move pretty quickly with those. So we were able to move those online, but leading into the Ready to Run, which is the second biggest sale of the year, we had to be really well prepared with a robust digital solution for real-time bidding, and luckily we had that already, that technology with the Gabble House platform, so we had to adapt that, and we're really proud of the way that worked at the Ready to Run, and will hold us in good stead for Karaka.
Tell us a little bit about that online buying platform.
What we wanted to replicate is we wanted people to feel involved. We didn't want it to be a sterile process, which it could have very easily been. So we've thrown a bit of colour, a bit of involvement. The auctioneers really play to the online bidders at home, and we've made it simple, we've made it accurate and fast, and the feedback's been really, really good.
And Danny, where can people get involved in this online buying platform?
Either directly from our homepage, nzb.co.nz, or straight to bidonline.nzb.co.nz. And of course, if anybody overseas wants to get inspection notes or veterinary information or anything supplement for a horse to help them bid, then either our team or the Bloodstock Agents Federation in New Zealand, more than willing to help, and people can just get in touch.
Talking of coming up to an online buying platform, let's just enlighten you around that selling schedule for 2021. Now, the Karaka Million Barrier Draw, that'll be the 20th of January here at the New Zealand Bloodstock Sales Complex. We then roll on into the Karaka Million Twilight Meeting before Book 1 starts Sunday the 24th of January through to Tuesday the 26th. And then, of course, Book 2 Wednesday the 27th, Thursday the 28th. All of that here at the New Zealand Bloodstock Sales Complex. I guess, Michael, you'd have a good indication on what people are thinking, both buyers and vendors. What's the vibe out there? I get the feeling that things are relatively positive.
Yeah, I've been really interesting, Emily. I thought there might be a little touch of doom and gloom because of the lack of overseas visitors on the grounds. Most of the major agents I've spoken to have said, look, we're still buying. We're going to be buying for people. They're still going to want horses. Horse racing's not going away. Racing actually hasn't changed that much at all. So that dynamic hasn't changed. What I have found has been more buoyancy in the domestic market. Trainers I've spoken to for two reasons. We have some major announcements going on in New Zealand racing. Racing's in a better governance state than it was. We have a massive, massive change in northern racing where there's going to be a lot of money freed up from potential sales of Avondale and Pukekohe, and therefore stakes, which most of these horses won't be racing properly for another 2 years. Those horses will be able to at least start to feel the impact of that. Also, the flip side was some of the local trainers are saying, hey, the last couple of years I've been blowing away on the big colts I want. I couldn't compete with some of those overseas buyers. They're hoping they might be more competitive in this market. I think because the New Zealand economy has recovered better than anywhere else in the world from COVID, I think there's going to be a really strong buoyancy about the domestic market and lots of positive indicators, as we've seen in the housing market, in the boat market, in the luxury car market. A lot of those people are involved in this sort of discretionary spending.
And talking of big years at the sales, there's one stud who's hitting a particular milestone. That's Little Avondale Stud, who are celebrating their 80th year. Buzz and Suze, we're here celebrating 80 years of Little Avondale Stud, and I know a particularly fond memory is getting the first $100,000 yearling. Tell me about that.
Well, it was a absolutely magical moment because it was the sound barrier for those days. The first in Australasia. We got two on the same day. Lorraine Jamieson from Cardeness, just up the line a bit. But it was a huge moment. I remember we got to 70,000 and it stopped. And I thought, come on, for God's sake, you've got to go a little bit more than that. 70's not enough, I want 80. And we went at 80 and then it stopped again. And I'm walking around and I'm really quite disappointed at 80 grand. And then it went bang, bang. And Tommy Smith ended up at 100. And it was just, the horse was out of control for 3 hours and I was out of control for 4.
One of the highlights, I think one of the first would have been leading my first yearling through the ring. Buzz and Tom thought it was going to sell for about 40,000 and it ended up being our sale topper for 175. So that was one of the highs. In our 75th year, selling a yearling for just shy of 800. That was a big high. But I think you have highs every day when you fold mares in the foaling paddock and you see them winning on the track. You know, that's one of the biggest kicks, and that's what it's all about for us.
Getting the Dewar Trophy and the Breed Mare of the Year, that was a magical moment too. The mum and dad were there. My brother Tom and his wife were there, Dutch and I were there, and it was really good. It was a great time.
Listen, we're the third generation, so I'm just lucky to be the one who's caretaking at the helm at the moment, and you know, the hard work's all been done before us with my grandparents and Buzz and Suze, my parents. There's a lot of history there with obviously Sunbride producing 3 horses to run first, second, third and fourth in the Melbourne Cup, Diana winning 5 derbies, but I think it's about yesterday's winners, isn't it? And you know, Your Deal, champion 2-year-old last year. Whimsical, you know, picking up the Group 3 the other day, the Eulogy Stakes. Avanalo, you know, heading towards the Karaka Millions. Look, there's a lot of the horses that are out there performing currently, and that's what it's about. It's not about just the horses of history. That's where we're lucky, because we've got the history behind us and the foundation, and it takes a lot of money to get to that point, doesn't it? But it's about the next winner. Katrina and I are really enjoying the 80th year, and whilst it's been COVID, we're going to make the most of it and enjoy ourselves at the sales, and yeah, let's hope it's a boomer.